This is going to be hopefully a nice quick one, and the premise is simple, and it's a follow-up to a video I did in November 2020, I think it was. And the premise is I like using my top quilt, my goose down top quilt. The tent I have is a single skin. It's not very good. I wanted a bivvy bag that I could put over my goose down quilt. The concern I may have had in the original is the Gore-Tex bivvy would have been so heavy it may have compressed the loft of the goose feathers, compressed the loft, made it cold. So I was looking into lightweight bivvies, really lightweight, and what I got into was ARGON 90. Now I do have ARGON 90 kit and I know it's good. It's light and windproof, and there's a bivvy bag available in ARGON 90. ARGON 90, 90 obviously being its denier, and ARGON is a type of nylon shell. This is the tent I don't like very much, trekking pole tent. It's by DD, it's not brilliant. The chamfer on it is too sharp like that, so your feet are touching the bottom once it's on the pad, and you have a goose down quilting with you. But look at this, a nice ARGON bivvy. But rather than have the second skin as part of the tent, the second skin is now over my sleeping bag. But this in fact is not an ARGON bivvy. This is in fact the ARGON Hammock sock. It's a cover that goes from one end to the other of my hammock over a ridge line to make a soft wind shell and to keep the damp out. That was the idea. I didn't have great success with this the first time I used it. I'm going to try it again maybe next week, but hopefully this should provide the second skin. The actual sleeping bag I'm using is goose down. I think it's 850 fill power, rated to 15 degrees F, which is about -9C. Little ground mat. I'll show you everything that I've got actually. Also, my blow up air pad. It's not been rolled up. I fold it like that. It's nice and flat. So that is pretty much everything I have for the pack. So I have something to sleep under, something to get in, and something to keep me warm. These are the three elements we're going to concentrate on. This is the sole focus of this video, is to put a skin between me, this, which is my sleeping bag, the tent, which is in my pack. Because today I haven't got my foam mat with me, although I could, but to save a bit of space, I've got an IPK sheet. But if you haven't got one of them, a foam pad will do. So that's just a bit of protection for my mat. This is a hammock sock. Now I was looking at ARGON 90 bivvy bags for about the same price as this, but this for me now has two possibilities, two uses. One, a use for around my hammock as its intended purpose as a windbreak in conjunction with the tarp, not instead of, but in conjunction with, and hopefully a bivvy. So now I've taken the ARGON shell out of its little bag, and I don't want to lose that bag. Nice little double-ended bishop bag. It's by Dutchware, by the way, if you want one. I mean, it wasn't a lot of money, but there's customs on it which can cripple you if it's coming from outside the UK, especially from America. Hike and bike, again, this is from the States. Customs to pay on this sleeping bag here. Again, I often just don't tend to zip it up. I'll leave it unzipped, put my feet in the bottom, twist it over so the hood would cover my face, but I can tuck it under my chin and drape it over me just like a duvet. So comfortable. And I'm going to put this into here, which is the hammock sock. Now the hammock sock is zippered from head to foot, and it has a bug mesh screen. Don't know if you can see me through that. And a very large opening on one end on a cinch cord, so I can open that right out, well bigger than my shoulders, so it's a really big bivvy. So double entry or exit, I can put the sleeping bag either through the zip or through the hood like I am now. So I can either exit and enter through the top like a normal bivvy, or on one of the sides a zip. So this hammock sock does incorporate its own bug net and a cinch toddle on the cord on the side. So this will keep the bugs out, and hopefully it'll stop the cold from coming in between the two skins of the wall, between the skin of this, the Argon 90, and the skin of the wall of the tent. So technically I've made a double skin out of a tent that's only a single skin. So there's the mesh over my face. A lot of people aren't going to like the feeling of a mesh over the face, but you don't need it to be either. I can just bring it around my neck like this if I wanted, and toddle up on the cord here. I was kind of hoping at one point that this could be instead of a tent on a really nice warm night, and just bunk down in a field with this on. I don't know how feasible that is. If you're wondering if a hammock sock is going to be big enough for you, this is 11 foot. Like I said, I want it to be transversable, so I need to use it between my 11 foot hammock and alternate it to be a lightweight bivvy. I've sealed up the end where the mesh is. It has double zips, and I'll try entering from the side. Now this is the same price as the Bora Argon 90 bivvy, but this has two functions. I probably prefer it getting in and out the top, but that's going to be personal choice to you. An air pad here, which I can put inside the bivvy with me, and the sleeping bag just resting on top of the pad, so I'm wind protected and warm, but not, I should imagine, very waterproof. A silk sleeping bag liner if you do overheat and sweat, so then it won't permeate your sweat to the actual sleeping bag. This is the lightest I could find and the most compact, and that will do as well. Right, I've got a brew here somewhere. In the beginning I opened up my sleeping bag and it came out of, not really a dry sack, it's just a little bag that sleeping bags usually come in. And maybe I don't need this if I keep the sleeping bag inside the bivvy, zip it all up and just start feeding the bivvy and the sleeping bag straight into my pack. So the air pad folded flat, that goes in first. And I didn't realise actually I had a 1 litre Camelback in there. And see how minimal I can get this kit to be. Now if it does rain and this isn't in my waterproof sack, in the top hood I do have a poncho. And what I'm doing here is seeing how many single pieces is the minimum requirement I'd be happy with. So definitely the IPK sheet as a puncture protector for my expensive thermarest air pad. Again, if you're not happy with an air pad, use your fold out CCF pad. You know, I've got one, it's similar to the Z-Rest, I think that's what it's called, but mine's a little clone and it does brilliantly. But I do want to condense everything a little. That into there like that, and I'd be happy to swap this for my nylon tarp, which can be made into a pyramid on a trekking pole. So I'm fully enclosed all the way around, comes to a peak on the top. Bit tight on the foot space, but I'm going to work on that. And my nylon tarp is about 490 grams. This is 700 grams, and then I've got a couple of poles as well. So a good saving there. But I'm just going to pop the tent in for now, and the minimal clothing, and I don't know why I've put my Camelback in there. Just going back to something I just said then, for anyone not in the know, I mentioned the Bora bivvy. It's an ARGON 90 shell, a bivvy bag, and it is designed for your lightweight goose down top quilts or sleeping bags. So if they're selling ARGON 90 as a bivvy shell to go on top of your goose feathers, I'm not going to have the problem of the weight of the shell squashing the feathers flat, and then I lose all the air loft and I go cold, which is the problem I would have had putting everything into my Gore-Tex bivvy, which is British Army issue, 800 grams. But that was just a prototype of this idea. I always knew I was going to do this. So the prototype was the Gore-Tex bivvy, which I knew was going to be too heavy. It would have compressed the loft and lost my insulation, made me cold. Everything I need is more or less here. And this is the extent of my summer hiking or trekking clothing right here. And that can either sit underneath my pack on straps or on top of the pack. It will fit in, but I don't want it at the bottom of my pack. If I need a clean pair of socks, I don't want to take my sleeping bag out to get to my clothing. So socks, underwear, change of trousers, everything I need right there. I don't carry water like that. Actually, I have these kind of hooks here that go around any bottle with a 22mm thread fitting. I get my favourite drink, put it inside that around the neck, click it in. Have two of these, one here, one here. I can have 500ml there, 500ml there if it's just a day hike. I can extend it to a litre, or I can use the D-rings on the shoulder harness here and put my chest rig of 2 litres on. It's a shame I have to retire this pack, the BCB International 25 litre. But I have got a 55 litre REI Flash, which I can take the hammock gear out and put this gear in, absolutely cavernous, loads of room. It's a very good ergonomic user space, the REI Flash, compared to some of the other packs that I have. So this is, I'm not going to throw it, I just can't bring myself to throw it, but it needs retiring. And I also have a lovely little car boot find, 600 gram frame pack. I really want to try that out, a vintage pack as well, from, I should imagine, around 1981. So that is all this complete, nice, lightweight trekking, not to be confused with a day hike or a ramble or a stroll out. It is trekking kit, also not to be confused with camping or hiking. Hiking, you'd generally have a more substantial tent, a more substantial sleeping bag, more substantial kit all round, because we all start off with big kit, and over years, and the older you get especially, the lighter you try and make things, and this is a very, very simple way of doing that. Now I have a couple of configurations for my 490 nylon tarp. Like I said, goes up in the pyramid, great for summer. In the winter I would have my polyester tarp of 3 meters by 3 meters. It's one of them DDs. I'm not keen on it, but it does the job, and that would be for winter use, a little heavier, but still it would be a good replacement for the tent. And I will show you the configuration of that pyramid in conjunction with the pad, the bivvy and everything else in a different episode coming up soon. So until then, take care of yourself, and I'll see you out there. Happy trails.